That was a lot of fun. Certainly a lot of fun for our players and our guys. They worked really, really hard this week. And you talk about something coming to fruition. We really just went out there every single day at practice and said, what can we get better at? I thought our guys, really attacked that. We have a lot of respect for Eastern Washington. They're a good football team. That being said, we felt like our biggest opponent today was Oregon. And we had to go out there and execute well for Oregon. What an awesome atmosphere. Our fans make this place so special. You get to experience shout there in the third quarter. I think there was a lot of juice, surrounding our team and the way they executed tonight. That being said, there's plenty of things that we still want to clean up. I'm anxious to get to the film so we can figure out what we can do better because we're about to play a really good BYU team next week.
Questions right here in the middle with the hat. So, Coach, a lot of people saw in the Georgia game there was a kind of a running back by committee used. There was 5 different backs, and today another game with 5 different backs. Was that the plan going into the season, or did that kind of more come to fruition right before the Georgia game?
I think I've said it from the beginning. If you're good enough, you're old enough. We're going to find ways to get into a rhythm. But if we have players that can play at a high level, we want to let them play. I think each one of our guys have different skill sets. As the season goes on, we'll continue to evaluate what their strengths and weaknesses are. But I feel really good about that group, and we have good players that can play there. We want to see them.
Back left, Matt.
Dan, you talked a lot this week about execution, making plays for one another, finishing plays. How do you feel like this team came out after the week they had and what they heard and how they responded to last week?
Yeah, we said we want to do simple better, right? And this week was all about doing simple better. It was about fundamentals and technique. I think you saw a lot of that show up in the game. That being said, there's certainly some plays out there that I think we want back. Some of our players want back. We'd love to clean up some of the penalties, be able to execute a couple things better. The big kickoff return was a disappointment. We got to do a better job there. But we're going to go back to the doctor on Monday and get it fixed. That's our plan.
Middle left, Rob.
From the flowers that Eastern left to Cam wearing Spencer's jersey, Cam getting in the end zone, obviously capped everything. Just thoughts on that moment for Cam and what it meant to kind of honoring Spencer as well.
Yeah, it was, we're talking on the headset going down to that last drive, and Kenny's saying, hey, I think we got a way here that we can get Cam the ball. I think every single one of us wanted that, especially seeing him wear Spencer's jersey tonight. So when you're able to dial it up and get it to him, and he was able to get it in the end zone, I know it was really close. I think Cam come off the field with tears in his eyes. That was a really special moment for him, certainly a special moment for our team, and, Spencer will forever be remembered for us.
Front left, James.
Dan, I heard your comments on radio saying you didn't face a ton of adversity, but you feel like obviously the execution was there at times. How do you feel like, what did you guys learn about your team? How do you feel like you benefited from this? And we didn't ask you during the week, but just what are your thoughts on these FCS games in terms of just going forward and what value they have or don't have for you as a program?
I got to go back and watch the film. I think there's a lot that we can certainly improve on, but anytime you have an opportunity to go play football, that's exciting for us. We want to get out there on the field and we want to execute. Obviously the benefit of a game like tonight is we got to see a lot of different players that are going to wear green and yellow, and you got to see how they will execute at a high level. Plenty for us to clean up. But for us, we had a bad taste in our mouth after the last game, and we were anxious to get out on the field and play somebody. And I know that that's just going to prepare us moving forward for playing some really good teams as we go down the schedule.
Front right here.
Coach, you said kind of in the lead up to this game that there were a lot of things from that Georgia game that you wanted to address and clean up in practices. Did you see a lot of those addressed during the game tonight? And what more would you like to see from your team going forward before BYU?
Well, we're not playing, our best football yet by any means. I think that the ceiling's, still really high, and there's a lot that we can still improve on. Did we see improvement? Yeah. I mean, we tackled better. We played more physical at the point of attack. We were able to complete passes and not put the ball in jeopardy, own the ball. So all those things are certainly a positive, but it's going to be a challenge as we move forward. It's going to continue to get harder, and we have to continue to play better. So a lot of moments for growth. We have not arrived by any means. We still got a lot of work to do.
In the middle, Rob.
In terms of the way you challenged your team this week and what you were looking for, I mean, there were even some days coming off the practice field where you said that you weren't seeing what you wanted to see. Just when did you get a sense that that message was being delivered and that guys were ready to really put this performance together?
Well, I'll say this. It's never been a lack of effort from our players. They've always been committed to doing it right. That doesn't mean we've always done it right, and that's for our coaches as well. But the standard is the standard. We're not going to accept less than the standard regardless of who our opponent is. So that's why I've said so much. Really this week was about playing us, right, and playing the best version of us. I think our guys really bought into that at the beginning of the week. And even though Wednesday wasn't the sharpest practice for us, I think they saw, hey, hard work pays off, right? And when you can combine, really deliberate practice with some talent and skill set, you're going to have great success.
Back left, Matt.
Anytime you put up 70 points, people are going to want to talk about the offense. But I think defensively, things maybe get lost from outside this program of how well you guys played. I think they had less than 100 yards through 3 quarters. What can you say about this performance and just how important was it for this defense to have that performance from a confidence standpoint of just what happened the week before in Georgia of 7 straight touchdown drives?
Yeah, let's be really honest. Georgia's a phenomenal football team, and I don't know that we know exactly where we're at yet. Did we play better tonight? Did we tackle better? Absolutely. But we're going to play some really good teams going forward. I know this. There was 14 points up on that board that I want back, right? And there's definitely some things that we can improve on. So the standard's our standard. We got to continue to measure ourselves to that, and we can certainly play better. It was nice to see us play with a physical brand of football. It was nice to see that regardless of who went on the field, our guys had a sense of, hey, we got to own what every other player's done on this field so far tonight.
James, front. I know you're not the most sentimental, but this is your first career win. Does this game ball have a certain spot upstairs on the 4th floor? Will it be making the trip back to Richmond in a couple of weeks?
I haven't even thought about it, man. I'm already thinking about BYU. It's the first time I realized you got a leg tat. I didn't know you had a.
About you.
Yeah, you should wear shorts more often, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you mentioned, this is still a growing thing for this team. But coming off of last week, how important was it for the offense just to see this success in this, the things that you guys are trying to get them to incorporate? How important was that just to be able to get into the end zone after not getting into it last week?
Yeah, it's kind of the secret to winning, right? The more we can get in the end zone, the better we're going to be. That being said, we had some drives last week. We didn't finish them. I think what we found out tonight is when you don't turn the ball over, right, and you're able to move the ball successfully, you're going to have a chance to win games. And we were able to score points because we didn't turn the ball over, and we were able to finish in the red area.
Right in the middle, Jared.
Kind of following up on that, I'm just wondering what you made of Bo's performance as a whole.
I'm anxious to go back and look at the film. I thought he made, some really good decisions and operated really well. At times, there's a couple plays that I want to go back and look at and see what he saw. But overall, I thought he did a really good job of understanding what we were trying to get accomplished.
Right here, second row on the right.
Coach, what type of advantage does it give you to have different running backs who can mix and match in different roles throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to be fresh. It allows you to be able to, play at a really high level consistently throughout. It also allows you, if somebody gets dinged, or you have somebody else you feel confident can go in there and execute at a high level. But what was fun for me is listening to I think there's been a lot made about our running backs. What was fun for me is listening to the running back that wasn't in, cheering for the guy that was in. There was a lot of that tonight. And I think, seeing guys play team ball, putting, themselves behind the team, right, and putting the team first really led to a lot of success on the field for those guys tonight.
Front, James. What did you see from Ty? And I realize Jay got in only for a couple of snaps, but what did you see from the other guys? And obviously, as you heard the crowd reaction to Ty coming in, obviously there's still a lot of excitement and hopes that he'll play even more than he got a chance to play tonight then.
Yeah, Ty did a great job tonight. It was fun seeing Ty and Bo and Jay, all those guys really operate. There was a couple times they made some checks based on looks that we had given them during the week, and to be honest, we'd probably given them maybe once or twice, and they were able to get us in good plays based on the looks that we had gotten. Ty did a really good job of getting us into a run check on one of the looks that we saw. So that was encouraging. Went out there and operated. We were talking about where the ball should go on certain plays and based on the coverage, and he was able to read the coverage and take the ball where it needed to go. Didn't have to force anything, but executed at a really high level. And I don't think anybody's as excited about, Ty's performance as his teammates. Ty comes here and works every single day, rolls his sleeves up, and he did a good job today.
Right here, second row.
It seems like all the quarterbacks kind of had a lot of time in the backfield. Can you speak to the protection of the offensive line and how they improved themselves going on from Georgia?
Yeah, and I think it's two different fronts that we've obviously played. That being said, you didn't give up a sack. I think in that game, and in this game as well, we did a pretty good job protecting up front. I want to go back and evaluate the film. See exactly what they did. But there wasn't a ton of pressure. We also got the ball out pretty quick. There was more short passing game than it was down the field. Probably didn't have to go down the field as much.
Back to James.
I know obviously you still have a whole game to watch, not just this one, but the BYU Baylor game, which is still ongoing.
What's the score?
10-6 BYU, early third quarter.
Got it.
But what Dave runs, and obviously Matt, having been there, how similar, how advantageous is that when just by happenstance, the week before you're about to play them, are they playing a very similar stylistic and simulated pressure defense to what you guys are looking to run?
I haven't watched them this season yet. I'm talking about Baylor specifically. In the past, they've certainly done some stuff that carries over. I'm looking forward to, hopefully being able to watch that film and decimate and, kind of see what they do similar to what, we do. We do have some connections there. So once the game's over with, it's something we can definitely evaluate.
All we have, Coach.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.